Hello and welcome to Industry Spotlight with Creative First. Our guest today is Subodh Menon, co-founder Zoop and founder and director of Fanboy Pictures Private Limited. Subodh, thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure.
Where is AI delivering the biggest gains in the advertising industry today?
See, I think it's just not in any one particular field, but I think when we are doing a commercial, in all the three stages, whether it is pre-prod, whether it is a shooting process, or it is post-production, I think in all the three stages, AI is of great help currently. So if I give you an example, for instance, at Fanboy when we have to do like a project, uh, what we have to do is before we shoot the film, what we need to do is basically have a PPM, like a pre-prod meeting, where you take the agency and the client through your entire vision of this is how I'm going to see it, this is how the sets will look, this is how the costumes will be, etc. And we take them through like a detailed storyboard, etc. Now because of AI, earlier what we used to do is we used to find multiple references across ads and films and etc. Now what we can do is basically once I've thought of it, once I have that vision in my mind, it's very easy for me to show the client and the agency almost 80-90% of what they'll actually get. Because but so in terms of execution, that is taking lesser time, but your thinking time is still the same. For you to have that vision, you still need that amount of time where you are living with the script and you are trying to bring your take to it. So that thinking process is still the same. But once that happens, once you know what you want, the execution of it is something that it's easier. Similarly, in the shooting process, I'll give you an example. Basically, we were shooting some time back with Smriti Mandana. So it was one very like a gritty film, where you see her training, and then there are her like where she's playing her shots, she's in the gym, etc. That kind of a montagey film. So in that film, there was this one shot that I wanted where she's practicing in the nets and she hits the shot. But before that, I wanted this like a shot of the bowling machine spitting out the ball in like full speed, so that you feel that this is the power that the ball is going to come towards her. So that was a requirement that was there on set. Amongst the other props and the sets, I'd asked for a bowling machine. When like a couple of days before, when I was on set, I noticed there was this conversation with the production team and the art directors where they were not able to source that bowling machine because what was vendor was not available, etc. And there was some vendor they found the entire cost of bringing in transportation, that person, etc., was coming to about a lakh and a half or two. Now I know in the edit that is going to come for a second. Okay, so I said it's okay, no need to have it. What I did is after I shot the entire film, I took the reverse shot, gave it to my AI team, and I created the same lighting and everything of the bowling machine. And you will not tell, that it's not the same. So while originally I wanted a bowling machine, but when I felt, okay, this is like 2 lakhs for that shot, and so much tamjam for them to source that vendor from somewhere else, I just felt it is not worth the hassle. And at the same time, I realized, okay, you can be smarter about this. Even when you're shooting, maybe you can always look at it from a lens key. Can I save on this, or can I be more smarter about it? So that is a possibility that AI gives you. And similarly for post production, that you're aware, like dubbing is become easier. Uh, Multiple languages you can do. So yeah, so I think in all the three stages, it kind of helps you execute it better. I'm saying executing better because the thinking has to still come from you in that sense.
How has AI as a technology changed your vision around creativity? And since you run your own, advertising agency, how has it really, benefited you or not benefited you in terms of budgets?
Uh, in terms of creativity, again, I don't know. I feel it's not impacted any of my creativity in that sense. That is still original to you. It has impacted my execution, and I think that is what it is. Now the thing with AI and like you talk about clients is that we are always at this battle with the client for give us some more time for for thinking, for execution, whatever. Now the client says, "Yeah, AI mein kar do na, do it sooner." So it's not like a magic wand where just because you're going to use AI, it'll happen faster. Yes, the execution can happen faster, but uske pehle ka to the thinking and everything that it requires that time. So yeah, so it has not helped me be more creative. It has helped me be more efficient or better executing in that sense. Yeah.
And do you see yourself delivering more efficient campaigns? Probably, in the olden days, we would have one or two master campaigns and then you have tactical campaigns after that. How has that changed now for a particular brand?
So yes, brands have now become more and more like they are willing to do more work. That is one because, and I think they also, and I may be wrong, but I think what they are also doing is it gives them the scope to create more, hence test more in that sense. See what is the people kind of liking, and then probably they can scale it. So that is something that AI is helping them do. But at the same time, I don't think so. Your big that one master campaign or those two big master campaigns, they are not going anywhere. They are still here as of now. They are here. But if earlier one would be doing 3 or 2, now they are doing one big one, and they are doing a bunch of these AI led kind of films. Uh, Also these fusion kind of films where you shoot something at the same time, then you mix it up with AI. So it's basically given birth to this new form of filmmaking where you can kind of achieve more in terms of production value, or at least in terms of scale. But at the same time, everybody on the table is aware that okay, this part is going to be done in AI, and hence the budgets for that accordingly. Nobody is expecting you to get your budgets down where there is no AI there. So yeah, that is
Yeah,
something that is happening.
when you're looking at high profile campaigns, building that brand image, and especially travel to different locations, which is very quite common in
Yes.
advertising, and including, like you recently mentioned, which includes celebrities.
Yeah.
Which aspect of that is now probably getting transformed? Because I would still feel that you still need those elements, but how is AI transforming that part of the campaign execution or production?
So see, those are the joys of filmmaking. Where you go and scout for a location, you find something that you have not seen. Where you like, for instance, just about 4 months back, I shot like a pan India campaign where we shot in Calcutta, in Ladakh, in Cochin, in Bombay, in Delhi. Banaras, whatever. It was like a pan India film, like a 6-7 day shoot, which doesn't happen that much nowadays. But it was great fun. It was great joy. And on that process, on that shoot, all we were saying here is this going to be one of our last shoots where we are going to travel so much. That thought occurred. I hope I'm not. I hope that is not the case. It is, but yes, today I can be here and I can recreate a lot of those visuals, those scenes which gave me that joy of finding them, scouting them. If need be, yes, you can do it today. uh, so, and yes, it will cost you also lesser than what it costed the client when I traveled the country. uh, so it's possible. Then that is more than a creative call. I think that's an economical call where the client says ki, because see, that authenticity you will find when you go on set, on location, while AI is catching up, and you can be as real as it can be. But there is that little bit of difference which is still there. Maybe it will not be there 2 years from today, maybe from a year from today. But that's actually more of a budget call that the client will say ki yaar ye karo na ye I at least I can have that skill. I can be that pan India feeling film. So earlier, like even a smaller brand had no option but to only limit its thinking, where ki the film can only open in on a park, or the film can only be set in a house, because ki that budgets will only allow you to shoot or tell those kind of stories. Now with AI, any, like, the smallest brand can think if my film opens in Spain. So those, so your thinking now has no boundaries in that sense. Yes, it's an AI film, but your thinking can, as long as your thinking is original, I think it can still work.
Just adding to what you just said, therefore, how can AI be used responsibly while respecting creators' rights?
See, so I don't know in that sense, but I feel that if the intent is there to create something original, then that intent will show. I see AI just as a mere tool. That's it. So yes, there are people who will be using it in whatever way in terms of plagiarism or however they want it to be. And I'm saying people who wanted to copy stuff or be inspired or be heavily inspired by stuff were doing it pre AI as well. So those kind of people will continue to use or misuse AI like they were doing it with any other tool or any other form of creating content. So but I feel that as long as there is a creator whose intent is to create something original and he's using AI just as a mere tool, like nobody says that this ad was made by Photoshop. It's the person who's using Photoshop has created the ad. Nobody says that this film was made by so and so camera. There was somebody behind the camera with a vision who, so two people with the same camera will shoot two different things. So that is where I see it. If you are using it as a tool and to create original stuff, I don't think there should be any problem.
So where do you see today, how is the traditional advertising and, technology-led campaigns? Where do you see they strike a balance? If you can take us through the entire thought process for a campaign. Like you rightly said, it's a tool. So
No, sorry, I didn't understand your
So
question.
how do you balance, a traditional campaign along with emerging technologies like AI?
See, in terms of how do you like basically what is a starting point of a campaign is basically you have an idea, so that still remains the same. After you have an idea, you kind of build on it. That is again something that you have to still do. You may use chat gpt to help you form find your thoughts better, or help you summarize it better, but eventually what you have thought of, see, you can use the AI as a starting point, as a bouncing board or whatever, but
Yeah.
AI cannot dictate how you think. AI does not have taste. AI can probably show you 10 things and you may say, this can trigger something. So that is something that people would anyways do, go on to Google, read up, research, etc., etc. So those things still remain the same. I just feel that the stage from your ideation to your execution, or your stage from your ideation to a client meeting, that can be crunched. It's like much faster. So you earlier, that whole process took so much time that when things would go wrong, to go back to the drawing board would again mean that much of time. So today I
Right.
think that process has become faster, so you can go faster, think of stuff sooner, execute it quicker, and pass fail jo bhi hai, fail to come back quickly, we can create something new. So I think that is what AI brings to the table currently in terms of campaigns and stuff.
How do you see AI and similar emerging technologies reshaping the advertising sector over the next few years?
you know to tell you honestly, where I thought AI filmmaking would be, what I thought last year कि 5 साल के बाद ऐसा कुछ होगा is already happening now. So I don't even know how to say what will happen in the future, because it's moving at a pace that I don't think anybody can catch up with. Even though I'm dabbling with whatever AI at my level and my team is, we are like everyday feeling कि अरे और एक चीज आ गया, अब इसको भी समझना पड़ेगा. It's that. So there is, so at the pace at which it is going, I have no idea what it will do, a few years from today. But I think hyper personalization is something that AI allows. And I think, again, I could be wrong, but I think that the power to basically send out a message tailored to you and what you are seeing as a person, I think that is something that AI will do in the future, is where my hunch is. And like, even if like the same brand can give you a certain message knowing you, and the same brand can give me a certain message, that is something that I feel can happen. hyper personalization, but I don't know. I could be wrong. But I think the technology to definitely exists, and with the level of data mapping that is happening of of every behavior that you have, it's also scary in that sense, because to find a message tailored to me so much that you're like, oh
Yes.
shit, you're like stalking me or what. I think that can happen, and I don't know if it is good or bad. That time will tell.
What's your advice to people in the industry today? Those who have been in the industry for some time and also the youngsters, coming into the industry. Like you said, AI is, growing at such a fast pace. What should be the key skills that they should develop in an AI world?
So I think originality is the only thing that you need to work on, because tools will keep on coming, keep on changing. I think what AI cannot take from you is your own taste, your own journey, what you have read, your books, your movies that you have consumed. I think AI cannot take that. Tools to aate jate rahenge, you will always find a way to tell a story. So I think you just need to work on your own skills. And yes, I know that a lot of people are still very wary about AI. They feel it's a bubble, it will go away, and maybe it will. But I feel that in today's day and age, people who are not, at least filmmakers or creators, who are not on AI, what it does is, it's basically AI lets you tell a story in some form or the other, which otherwise requires funds, capital. So I feel that if you have a story to tell in some form or the other, you can use AI and tell it. And slowly, steadily, I think that is better than not being able to tell any story. So that is why I encourage people to, just sharpen your skills on AI. The first, second time you do, it will not be right. But slowly and steadily, just the joy of being able to tell a story or create some content using this only and merely as a tool. I think once you start looking at it from that lens, because what I told you, right, nobody says that this camera has made the ad. So I think eventually it is about that. You don't say Photoshop ne ye banaya. It's the person who's used it. So I just feel that once people start acknowledging that, कि ऐसा नहीं कि एआई में बनाया, एआई में एक आदमी ने कुछ सोच के अपने दिमाग से कुछ बनाया है, तो आई थिंक
Right.
दैट इज, once you start respecting that, I think more and more people will come on board.
It's clear that AI as a tool is a catalyst to a creator's vision, and protecting creators' rights, therefore, in the age of AI will be key. Thank you
Yes.
so much, Subodh, for this insightful discussion.
Thank you.